With 3D printers, you buy a spool like this, $20, $23 spool of plastic, and this is PLA, and you can make like 70 of these. But a lot of people ask me, how is that possible? Howdy folks, welcome to Coffee and Tools this week. It's the last week of this year. It's 2022 and it's December 29th, so we have only got a few more days. So this is the last video of the year, but this is video episode 301, and what I wanted to talk about a little bit was to help some people that are thinking about buying a 3D printer and they may not understand. One of the things that, you know, a lot of people get shocked over is something as simple as this. This rocket here took just as long and took as much plastic to make from the spool as this little rocket right here. What's the difference? Well, the difference is the fill. This one here is hollow. There is nothing inside. This is, I can take the cap off and show it to you. It's just basically all air inside. There's virtually no fill inside this thing. This is the shell only, which is what I printed because that's what I wanted to do. This one here is 20% fill, which is pretty much the standard you run into with 3D printing all the time, is about 20% fill. This one, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to make a little diagram on a piece of paper so you can get an idea. This is something you can control when you're setting up a print, and it's really cool because you can tell how fast it's going to be. You can cut the time a little bit with fill. Also, you can either increase the strength or decrease the strength of the model or whatever it is you're building. And at that point, fill can be essentially quite a determining factor on how you want something to come out. And on a 3D printer, you can do that. Cool. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. If we could cut one of these models with a saw and open it up, what you would see would be a honeycomb or Xing like this inside of it with plastic. In other words, this is at like 20% fill. This would be the outside, and this would be the outside of that model. That would be the walls of the inside and outside of, say, a model or something like that when you cut it open. But you'd have this honeycombing looking effect. Another example of what that might look like is, well, even one of these, this is, you know, obviously it's aluminum honeycomb, but it's the same idea. It gives it strength, but at the same time, it leaves a tremendous amount of air space in here and makes it lighter, but it also makes it very strong. It's very strong. In fact, at 20%, I've got some models here that I can actually put on the floor, stand on them, and they won't crush because that honeycombing in there actually gives it the strength it needs. Now, that is part of the secret of how we get so much material or so many models and things made from this that, you know, a spool like this can last. I've got some spools here that are years old. They're 2 and 3 years since they were purchased, and they're still producing, you know, components and parts and what have you, or whatever I need. And a lot of people get shocked because they assume immediately when they haven't hit 3D printing yet, they think, oh, this must be a solid model or something. Even this little boat, the Benchy, same thing. It's all honeycombed inside. So this is not solid. This is what they call 20% fill, and it's 20% fill is exactly what it sounds like. Basically, only 20% inside of the walls of the model actually have plastic inside. There's actually 80% air, 20% plastic, which is all, you know, hexed out like this to give it the strength that it might need. And again, the same thing for this little rocket guy I was showing you earlier. Inside of this is only 20%. Now, the amount of fill, of course, is going to determine how fast or how slow that model is made. So if you wanted to up the fill rate, which you could for whatever reason, I have situations where at 20% the model wasn't strong enough for what it had to do for the customer, and I had to increase it. Now, there's been a lot of discussion over, you know, fill rate versus solid plastic. Excuse me. And there's some theories out there that the honeycomb actually in some degree is stronger than if it was just solid plastic made through. So that's kind of cool, but at what level or what percentage, I don't know. I just don't have the stats on that sort of thing. I've looked at some other 3D programs that are out there to see if anybody, you know, really had a number on that one. And there doesn't seem to be a chart or a number exactly like, you know, 80% fill. Is that, you know, as strong as you can get before, you know, you're just wasting your time? So I used, like I said, 20%. That's basically almost like a default with a 3D printer. Mostly when you're doing a model, you're going to get 20% fill is recommended for most models. Every once in a while, you're going to get something different. And this dice tower, for example, when it was made, the programming, for whatever reason, recommended 15% fill. And I think they were trying to cut the time on how long it would take to produce the model on the 3D printer. I'm really not sure, but that's 15% fill, which is even lower than anything else I have on hand here. But even these little microphone headphone stands that I've made here, these are only 20% fill. So they're hollow, almost like hollow inside, but they're not hollow. They have the honeycomb structure of plastic inside to give it the strength. And I thought we should probably just touch on that a little bit for anyone who's thinking about 3D printing and they're not familiar with how things are made, because a lot of people look at a spool like this and tell me, you know, well, you can only make what, this much plastic or something. No, you can get model after model after model after model out of this because 80% of this is just air. There is no plastic in that thing, you know, and it's very strong. You can probably stand on this one, even though it's not really designed, you know, for that. But yeah, shall we do it? Yeah. Anyways, the idea is that you don't use that much plastic, and again, because of that, the cost comes way down. So a lot of times you'll hear a 3D printer guy say something about, well, I made this for, you know, it just cost me pennies, because that's all that's in it. You know, there isn't that much plastic involved. Wow, did we cover a topic today? Whew, we got a draw coming up. Let's get to the draw. Yeah. Okay, we're back. Yeah, okay, yeah, here we are. We're drawing for the Apex Forge. It's a laser distance measuring device that's really cool, and has a really cool app for the phone, so you can really get into it. Now, we're giving this out today, so this is the prize for today that we're going with, and everybody has put their name in for the draw, and I've got, only about 50 entries, so that's not very many, but okay, there it is, in the bucket. We did the cowboy hat last week. That did not work too good. We needed smaller tickets or whatever for that one, so we'll mix them all 50 up in the bucket, so you've got odds that are better than the lottery to win this thing. Yeah, you know. Let's see let's grab one down the bottom there and see who we got. Okay, who's getting that Apex Forge? Oh, wow. In Kentucky. Carla. In Dawson Springs, Kentucky, as a matter of fact. Okay, Carla, guess what? This baby's yours. I will try to see if I can get that out of here Friday, because we've got New Year's Day, I think, is what, Sunday? So, yeah, and I don't know if Monday will be, yeah, I'm not sure how the shipping goes. So we'll try to see if we can't box this up and send it to you on tomorrow on Friday out of here and get that on its way. Now, everybody keep tuned, because we got something else to give away for next Thursday. Boom, we're back. Yes, and this is what we're giving away next Thursday. This is 420 pieces, and it's for Dremel tools. So all you need is a Dremel. Even the collets, the wrenches and everything, a wrench, whatever, is all already in here. So you've got everything you need for a Dremel tool. In fact, I love it because that's all I had was the Dremel. The rest of the stuff had gone, you know, bye-bye, it's gone missing. So having this was like, oh, this is awesome. Now, we're going to give this away Thursday. So how do we get in on that? Well, I'll tell you how you get in on these draws. You send an email to CTrewards@gmx.com. I'll write that right in front of me there, so you can see it. And one entry per household from anywhere. In the subject line of your email, put the word tool. That's, how hard can that be, right? Yeah. In the body of the email, just your name and address. That's all, and that's all we need. And we will create tickets and draw them out of the bucket like you just saw, and somebody will get themselves this kit right here. So I want to thank everyone for watching Coffee and Tools, and please like, share, subscribe, ring the notice bell, and everybody have a happy new year, and hopefully next year is a better one for all of us. be kind to each other, right? Okay. I'm out of here, and thank you for watching. Over and out.